Check. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. A very warm welcome to all of you. I'm Deepthi, the host for this event. G Square is proud to present the third edition of its flagship initiative, G Square Coimbatore Unlimited 3.0, powered by the Hindu. Can we have a big round of applause, ladies and gentlemen, for this wonderful initiative? Thank you. After two highly successful editions, we are excited to bring the landmark event back to the city that continues to redefine growth and innovation, Coimbatore. Before we move ahead, allow me to take a moment to share something we're incredibly proud of. Last season, G Square, in partnership with the Hindu, was honored with a prestigious international recognition, the INMA Global Media Award. Can we have a big round of applause for that, because it's a huge thing. For those who may not be familiar, the INMA Awards, hosted by the International News Media Association, celebrate the world's best in news media marketing, advertising, and brand building, recognizing innovation, strategy, and real-world results. Our campaign stood out on a global stage, not just for its creativity and reach, but for how powerfully it connected with the audience and elevated the conversation around smart urban development. This award is a testament to the strength of meaningful collaboration, the boldness of fresh ideas, and the belief that when media and enterprise work together with purpose, the impact is just unstoppable. So tonight, as we launch G Square Coimbatore Unlimited 3.0, powered by the Hindu, we carry forward the same spirit of excellence, partnership, and vision. Let's give a big round of applause, ladies and gentlemen, for this wonderful, proud achievement. This platform is designed to spotlight Coimbatore's rising potential as a smart investment corridor. It brings together influential voices from real estate, infrastructure, finance, retail, and beyond, all aligned with a single purpose: to explore new frontiers for growth in India's most promising cities. And we're honored to have the Hindu, name synonymous with journalistic integrity and regional insight, as a power partner for this edition. Over the next hour, get ready to hear from some of the brightest minds in the business, gain valuable perspectives, and take part in conversation that's shaping the future of Coimbatore. And let's go on with our panelists for the day. We move on to the first panel discussion, Coimbatore in Focus, the Smart Investment Corridor. Okay, let me invite the first panelist, Mr. Shivakumar P., Global Business Head, G Square Group, a visionary C-level executive known as Mr. Achiever for his transformative leadership and impact, with 28 plus years of experience driving business growth, fostering client relationships, and leading cross-functional teams. Shivakumar is a high-caliber professional. Ladies and gentlemen, please give a big round of applause and welcome the first panelist, Mr. Shivakumar. Our next panelist, Mr. Navid Narayan, is a passionate advocate of making the emerging hub work, especially for the GCCs. He plays the role of Vice President, Mobility Solutions at Bosch Global Software Technologies. He's also the head of R&D Center in Coimbatore and a member of the global leadership team of the company. A technology enthusiast and experienced in multiple product technology domains, Navid holds business responsibility in new age tech space such as cybersecurity and software-defined vehicle. Ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together and welcome Mr. Navid Narayan onto the stage. The applauses can be even more stronger and brighter and noisier. Thank you. Our next panelist is Mr. Susil S. DUNGARWAL, who is a shopping mall specialist and author of The Mechanics of Malls. With a career spanning nearly 4 decades, Susil has established himself as a pioneering force in the retail and shopping mall industry. Over the years, he swiftly rose through leadership roles across various retail formats, including departmental stores, supermarkets, lifestyle stores, specialty stores, and discount outlets. His expertise has been instrumental in shaping renowned retail brands such as Saint Mark, Shampa Jewelers, Paramveer, Silk Knot International, Big Kids Kemp, Sari Kemp, Shoppers Stop, Varsha Lifestyle, and so on. Please put your hands together and welcome Mr. Susil S. DUNGARWAL onto the stage. Our next panelist is Mr. Guru Raja S.J., City Head Office Leasing Advisory, Chennai. Guru Raja leads a 30-plus member office leasing advisory team in Chennai, strategizing comprehensive real estate solutions for corporate occupiers and developers. With over 20 years in real estate, Guru has developed deep expertise in corporate real estate practices and developer relations. His ability to build strong client relationships, secure exclusive occupier representation assignments, and maintain client loyalty has consistently generated both new and repeat business opportunities. Ladies and gentlemen, please put your hands together and welcome Mr. Guru Raja S.J. onto the stage. Now it's time to welcome our moderator. Mr. C.A.G. Karthikeyan, a chartered accountant by qualification, has more than 3 decades of experience in the field of public accounting. His experience includes expertise in the field of international taxation, company audits, and transfer pricing. He has rich experience in US tax regulations and Indian tax laws with specialization in double taxation avoidance agreement. Please put your hands together, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome Mr. C.A.G. Karthikeyan, founder Startup Academy, former president TIE Coimbatore. Once again, all of you, a big round of applause for the panelists and the moderator. Over to you, sir. Thank you.
Thank you for that nice introduction. Happy evening to the audience. Friends, Coimbatore in focus. The smart investment corridor. I'm truly delighted to be part of this wonderful event organized by Hindu, sponsored by G Square. I am doubly delighted. First, we are not just celebrating the industrial ignite and entrepreneurial energy of Coimbatore, but we are just celebrating the transformation that the city of Coimbatore is moving towards, getting the attention of the national and international investors. And being part of it is a true delight, truly a delight for me. Secondly, I am from Coimbatore for the past 5+ decades. So, truly delighted to be with you all for this wonderful evening. We have very eminent and diversified panelists with us, and I am sure for the next 1 hour, we are going to discuss on various subjects. Basically, Coimbatore is a manufacturing hub, and MSME is predominantly a huge sector. Now, with the technology convergence and innovations, the Coimbatore is emerging in a different form. We have lots of IT companies, IT-enabled companies, and Coimbatore becomes a GCC hub also in the recent days. Basically, now Coimbatore comprises textile machinery manufacturers, pumps, valves, castings, jewelry, educational institutions. Maybe after the introduction. Okay. Manufacturing, MSMEs, healthcare, education, these are all diversified sectors that Coimbatore is currently having. When we talk about numbers to support the growth of Coimbatore, as you all know, India is the 4th largest GDP in the world. Now we have surpassed Japan we are the fourth largest with $4.1 trillion economy. First being America with $30.5 trillion, followed by China, $19.3 trillion, followed by Germany, and we are in the fourth. World Bank and IMF predict India to be the third largest economy in the next 18 to 24 months timeline. And Tamil Nadu contributes a significant portion. It's 12.5% of the India's GDP is contributed by Tamil Nadu, out of which Coimbatore, along with its suburbs, other cities, or I will not use the word suburb, along with the regional partners like Tirupur, Erode, and Karur, contribute substantial portion of India's GDP and Tamil Nadu's GDP. When we look at GST collections, GST, when it was introduced in 2017, the regulators thought even touching 1 lakh crore per month would be a tall task. But then now we can see for the past several months, it has crossed 2 lakh crores per month, out of which Tamil Nadu contributes. Tamil Nadu is the fourth largest contributor of GDP and GST in the country. 12,500 crores per month is the revenue from Tamil Nadu, out of which the GST commissionerate from Coimbatore contributes a very significant portion, and it's more than 3,850 crores per month. Income tax collection also, Coimbatore contributes 6,800 crores as of now. There is a recent figure. Therefore, in terms of numbers, in terms of statistics, in terms of economy, Coimbatore is significantly contributing to the exchequer of Tamil Nadu as well as the nation. Most of you would be aware of Coimbatore. There are several brands, Coimbatore brands, that are known well in not only in the state but also in the country level. The educational institutions, PHG, GRG, the alumni are all over the world. Avinashingam Home Science College. And the trust hospitals, as far as the healthcare is concerned, there are several trust hospitals very well known, very well run in Coimbatore, like Ramakrishna, GKNM, PSG, KG hospitals, in addition to the corporate hospitals. And there are super specialty hospitals like Ganga and GEM hospitals, which are world-class hospitals, which attracts medical tourism also to the city of Coimbatore. And there are several brands, food, Annapurna or Krishna Sweets are well known not only in Tamil Nadu but also other places. And when you look at the city of Coimbatore, it is built by several stalwarts, right from R.K. Shanmugam Jetty, the earlier finance minister, G.D. Naidu, an inventor and an entrepreneur by himself, a huge entrepreneur, G.K. Devarajulu, who built the LMW group, D. Balasundaram, Textile Group, companies like Pricol, LMW, Craftsman, recently they have gone for public issue, KPR Mills. These are all the companies, these are all the names, these are all the Coimbatore identity. கோயம்புத்தூருக்கு அது இன்னொரு ஸ்பெஷாலிட்டி உண்டு உங்களுக்கு, அதாவது வாட்டர் வெதர் பீப்புள் அப்படிமோ கோயம்புத்தூரில். கோயம்புத்தூர் வாட்டர் வந்து செகண்ட் டேஸ்டியஸ்ட் இன் த வேர்ல்டு. வெதர் ஆல்வேஸ் இட்ஸ் மச் ஸ்ட்ராங்கர். பெங்களூர் மாதிரி ஒரு அருமையான வெதர். பீப்புள் ஆர் குட் பீப்புள், பட் ஆஃப்கோர்ஸ் விச் ஐ ஷுட் நாட் சே ஆஸ் ஃப்ரம் பீயிங் ஃப்ரம் கோயம்புத்தூர். எல்லோரும் நீங்கள் கம்யூனிகேஷனில் பார்த்துருப்பீங்க, சார் போடுவீங்க, அல்லது அந்த மரியாதை தமிழ்ங்கிறது கோயம்புத்தூரில் தான், ஏனுங்க வாங்க போங்க அப்படிங்கிறது. இன்ஃபேக்ட் ஒரு யூனிக் ஃபீச்சரை நீங்கள் சொல்கிறேன், எத்தனை பேருக்கு அப்சர்வ் பண்ணியிருக்கீங்கன்னு எனக்கு தெரியல. உங்கள் கம்யூனிகேஷனில் எய்தர் யூ ஜஸ்ட் சே சார் ஆர் மேடம் ஆர் அதர் யூசேஜ். எத்தனை பேர் என்ஜிஏங்கிற பார்த்துருக்கீங்க? வெல்கம் என்ஜிஏ, ஐ டிட் என்ஜிஏ, மீனிங் வாங்கங்கிறத தமிழில் ட்ரான்ஸ்லேட் பண்ணது ஒரே ஒரு சிட்டி கோயம்புத்தூராக தான் இருந்திருக்குன்னு. தட் இஸ் த மரியாதை தமிழ்ங்கிறது கோயம்புத்தூரோட மரியாதை தமிழ்னு சொல்லலாம். திஸ் இஸ் த யூனிக் ஃபீச்சர் ஆஃப் கோயம்புத்தூர். In fact, with this strategic location, skilled manpower, education institutions. There are several education institutions. In fact, over stage over last decade, the proportion of population vis-a-vis the education institution was highest or second highest in the country, Coimbatore, number of engineering colleges and other education institutions. So with this kind of educational talent pool, water, weather, people, and living the lifestyle, Coimbatore is poised for several investors to look into Coimbatore, and they have already started, and there are several investors from upcountry as well as abroad have set their eyes in Coimbatore. Not only that, the real estate prices you could have seen from the spiraling real estate price, which is the reason, which the cost can be contributed to the investment from bureaucrats, business community, even politicians from various parts of the country. They are setting their eyes on Coimbatore. So these are all the reasons, compelling reasons for people to look into Coimbatore as a favorable investment destination. And I am sure our panelists are going to throw light on various aspects of this. With this, I would like to start the panel discussion. The first question is going to be for all the four. We have a strong panelists like Guru, Susil, Navid, and Shiva. The first question is, you can take 2 to 3 minutes. What are the 3 key strengths that make Coimbatore a smart and a favorable destination?
So just to give you a perspective from my side is, which is related to the ITS industry, which is the talk of the town today. The talent is the best, because talent at an affordable cost and the most loyal talent is something which is doing the talking for the town today.
Thank you. Sushil.
Hi, good evening, everybody. Look like everybody is too serious. Huh? I thought Chennai people are very cool and nice and very warm and welcoming. Good evening, everybody. Wow. I could hardly hear all of you. Is this the way you Chennaites welcome somebody from Mumbai? Can I have a loud good evening from all of you, please? Wow, thank you so much. So coming back to Coimbatore from Chennai, my first memories of Coimbatore was way back in early 80s when I visited there for the first time. And the only attraction for me was that 6 feet dosa at Annapurna. That is what my memories come to. But over the last 30, 40 years, I have been traveling to Coimbatore and I've seen a drastic change. And especially the change in the last 5 to 7 years. The city is abnormally grown. Coimbatore has got everything what a great city needs, whether it is education, whether it is health and hospitality, whether it is tourism, because anybody who wants to go to Isha or Uti has to still go to Coimbatore. So it has got all the ingredients. It is very strategically located. People are more educated in Coimbatore than rest of the part of South India, I would say, maybe second to Bangalore. The entire infrastructure that city has grown, and I've seen that city growing in the last couple of years because we are managing a project in Erode. So I visit to that region almost twice or thrice a month. The kind of development what Coimbatore has seen and the potential it has is humongous. I mean, you look at real estate growth which is happening. Mr. Ashwin was just sharing with me that his mall, Brookfield Mall, does a trading density of almost 2,000 rupees per square feet, which is probably higher than what some of the malls in Chennai are doing. I mean, that very clearly depicts the potential of people earning and spending both. I mean, people only spend when they can earn, right? So that is the kind of potential Coimbatore has. Okay, so whether it is textiles, whether it is IT, one of the big shifts what I have seen from a real estate perspective is the lot of mills which were on the outskirts of Coimbatore once upon a time, which have now become part of Coimbatore, are now shifting to further places, and most of these mills are getting converted into multi-use developments, mixed-use developments, whether with hotels, with IT parks. We are also hand-holding one developer in Coimbatore who's making a 3.5 million square feet mixed-use property, which will have a mall, IT park, hotel, you know. So the huge potential of Coimbatore is, I think, was so far unexplored or maybe unexploited. The city has a huge capacity to grow, and it has all the ingredients what it can make into a metropolitan in the next 5 to 7 years. So I say huge potential happening in Coimbatore. Thank you.
Thank you, Sushil. Maybe can you just share your sense on the 3 strengths of Coimbatore?
Good evening. Just want to ask, first of all, how many of you have, connection, roots, or, families studied in Coimbatore? How many of you are in this crowd? That's something which I was expecting. That's one of the strengths of Coimbatore is that it's people who are there in different part of the world. Some connect for whatever reasons. You either studied in Coimbatore or family there, or your ancestors are from Coimbatore. And this is something which we keep seeing when you go to different part of the world, right? Even if you go to Germany or in Paris, when we have events with entrepreneurs or technologists, we often see people who are from that, and that is one of the first connect we hear. We recently had this conversation with Mr. Deras Ahmed, who is the MD of Guidance, who brings, in fact, investment to Tamil Nadu. That is his job, right? He's an IAS guy. So he said that when he was in Berlin, and he was surprised by the number of people who actually wanted to do something in Coimbatore. Because some of them studied in Coimbatore, they had family, they were like the idea of coming back to. So I think this is a hidden strength of Coimbatore. Not many other cities can boss this part. If you take the top, entrepreneurs or top CEOs or the CXO level, there are many companies, US-based companies who have leaders from Coimbatore, studied or originated. And I think that's one of the strengths which comes back in the form of investment. It comes back in the form of starting something in Coimbatore. There are people who come back and started something. Bring companies to Coimbatore, especially tech companies to Coimbatore. And I feel people would be one big part of Coimbatore. And I think we can, in fact, we use that a lot more in the form of bringing companies, showing investment opportunities as part of global capability center. So one of the track which I represent is global capability center. These are big companies who will want to use India as a base for their development. They are not outsourcing or IT services. They are basically part of their development team sits in India, right? And these are typically technology-led areas wherein you do high-end development, engineering. This is also the way in which you bring talent, technology to cities. It works very well with the academic ecosystem because most of the time GCCs bring those technology which is later available for others to consume, right? And if I look at technology, that is the second strength which I think of, because Coimbatore is known for technologies. I mean, if you look at history, the technology leaders who brought new development, innovated out of Coimbatore. Be it in machinery space. Now, if you look at from the angle of electrification or e-mobility in India, there are a lot of companies from Coimbatore who are making niche products, which are required for building cars, electric cars. And this is the, I think, attraction to technology. People who wants to learn, do new things, start as entrepreneurs, build something on their own, and then of course scale. I think this is another strength which I see in Coimbatore, because there is an inherent attraction to new technologies and entrepreneurship, and it starts as MSMEs. Now you see technology startups, new avatars of MSMEs, right, in technology startups. Third is that Coimbatore is always a metropolitan culturally. If you look at, there are people from different part of India came and settled in Coimbatore, generation by generations. You can see communities who, of course, maintain their nurture their culture as well as integrated into the local culture. So this is another part, because when you get people from move to Coimbatore, they always feel at home in Coimbatore, because you always find pieces of their culture also in Coimbatore. And I think that's another part which is not there in many other cities. This makes it attractive for people to come and work, settle, especially in our case when we hire people from different part of India and they have to come and work in Coimbatore. Always have this issue whether they stay for long, right, or they want to go back to metros. But in Coimbatore, we see this is very special. And in our case, we have seen that we, in fact, have people from different part of Tamil Nadu, of course, and also different part of India as part of our workforce. So to me, third element is, in fact, multicultural.
Thank you, Navid. In fact, to supplement you, probably the alumni associations is a very strong route for Coimbatore. Probably the PhD institutions, as you all know, they have students all over the world. And recently, Shiv Nadar from HCL, he has also contributed to the new building of PhD institutions. And this is one inherent strength that could be tapped, that could be further enhanced. That's in fact, it's a very valuable point that you brought up. Shiva.
Good evening, everyone. I don't know whether to say good evening Chennai or good evening Coimbatore, because when Naveed asked people to raise their hands, there are too many hands from Coimbatore actually. So it's quite amazing that people from Coimbatore are out here in terms of to witness what are the kind of discussion that is going to go across here. Second is, it's always tough to be the last speaker on this panelist, because most of the guys would have spoke everything about it, and it's tough to just pick up points and then speak. If you just ask, the advantage that we have from the G Square is the plotted development, which the other people are not part of it. The best part about Coimbatore is traditionally, it's a highly educated crowd. So more than anything else, they understand what is needed for the society, what is needed for the economy, and they probably are leaders in terms of shaping it up. Most of the industries, as you said, be it the GD part or be it your Pricol or LMW. So most of these larger industries have started from Coimbatore, and they pave way for the rest of the state to take it up and then shape. They appreciate anything which is good, any new initiative that comes across. They're conservative, but they appreciate a lot of new initiative that comes across. The third thing I would say is more from the infrastructure part. There's a lot of development that has happened in Coimbatore right now. The roads have become wider and the connectivity is extremely good. Airports have become quite a lot of connecting airport flights are there from other parts. So Coimbatore is rocking right now. So Chennai is almost it's come to an stage where it is overcrowded right now. So probably Coimbatore is the next place where it is going to hit heavily.
Thank you, Shiva. And as you rightly observed, the talent, the companies are moving towards talent. Earlier, people used to go for work to the different places where the opportunities were there. Now, the companies are moving towards Tier 2 cities and Tier 3 cities. And the typical examples are Zogo and other, even Coimbatore could be a typical example. Probably, Coimbatore has moved from manufacturing base to technology base. In fact, it's evolving. When we talk about technology, there are several IT companies and IT-enabled companies. The question is to Naveed. This is on the GCC. Global Capability Centers are fast catching up. And in Coimbatore, there are more than 60 GCCs have already set up their shops, and more than 20,000 employees are working in GCCs. How do you see the trend, and what are the preparedness that the city is having for the further GCCs? Since you are also part of GCA, I believe you have already dealt on this. Can you just throw light on this, Naveed?
So like I mentioned, global capability centers are really one of the growth sectors in India. The reason being, of course, that if you look at the global demographic trend, right, the whole world is getting older, and the need for talent is still very high. So in the next decade, if you look at, the prediction is that 25% of the incremental workforce will come from India, and that's huge. That's around 85 million. It's as big as the population of Tamil Nadu if you look at the size scale. This would mean that most of the global companies have to depend India for talent. And if you look at talent, now this is, if you add the flavor of artificial intelligence and technologies like quantum computing and all that, this means we are looking for talent which are at the niche space, right? So you need, of course, on talent. On the other side, we need really niche talent. This is a trend which is going to continue. Now the question is that which city is going to attract, right? There is a need, there is going to be talent requirement. Of course, academia has to scale up. The previous level of education is not sufficient to meet what is required for next 5 to 10 years. So many of the, we see this shift happening in the academia. Now, our picture is that there are a few cities that can attract. Coimbatore is at the top of the list because we have really those academia who are well known and who have been able to catch up and lead the talent wave. I mean, if you look at the PSGs of the world, right?
Also, can you say something, because at the cost of repetition, many of them are aware of GCC, but what is GCC and how it, probably that will be, since it let it not be a jargon.
Right.
So GCCs and, the characteristics.
Right.
of
So
GCC.
maybe I can give the example of ours because we are a multinational company, Robert Bosch, more than 130 years in the world, innovation focused. And when we looked at where do we want to have our second center, because we were in Bangalore since last 35 years. Around 2005-ish, when we started looking at where do we want to create our next engineering center, so which means developing products for all the Bosch portfolio, be it automotive, consumer electronics, and also other sectors. Coimbatore was in fact in the top list. It was an exercise done to evaluate various cities, looking at various parameters, talent availability, and all of them are part of that. And then Coimbatore was at the top of the list. So likewise, companies do evaluation. There are about 1,700 GCCs in India. If you look at the global workforce, around 50% of the talent is in India. So which you look at multinationals who have engineering or development centers, 50% of their talent comes from India. And that's the scale of operations if you look at of global capability centers. And this is what I said, we expect a lot more demand in the next years, and are we prepared to really attract that? Right? This is the fight between cities now.
Balance. I will come back to you on AA question later.
Yeah.
Before
Second-
that,
the second part of the
just
question.
that probably I will come again get back to you. Before that, now it's a time for downsizing for many of the IT companies because of the introduction of AI. Not only in TCS in the a couple of days back they laid off 12,000 employees, and in US also Microsoft is downsizing, and several IT companies are pruning down their employee strengths. Vis-a-vis the inadequacy of talents in some pockets. How do you see that? How do you see a balance in between?
So one of the things which we have, I think this is also the weakness of India, is that when we really get into the outsourcing part of it, which means when we target the low end of the development work, right? This is the one which will get really automated and killed very fast, right? So, and most of the time, the talent development, follows the demand. And so one thing which we have to do very consciously is academia has to create talent for the future, not today, for tomorrow, right? So this means that you have to anticipate what is in demand next 4 to 5 years ahead and build that ecosystem, right? Now, if you look at the wave of AI is artificial intelligence. If you look at technology that is coming in automation and all that, is going to remove the low end of the work. This has happened, of course, if you look at in the manufacturing side, right? Manual labor was automated through manufacturing, right? Automated manufacturing. Same is happening in engineering, software engineering. So the low end of the work is going to be automated. What is required is people who have capability to use and develop AI. So that's a space which is now getting created. So do we have talent in that space will determine whether we will have access to that. So
Reskilling is
Right.
important. Can
Yeah.
we say like that?
right. So even if you look at software development, probably the coding, programming part of it gets automated. But you will need people who can actually create the design, architect, conceptualize. So these kind of jobs will be a lot more in demand. While the actual implementation, programming part will get automated. So this is where we say any technology for that matter will kill some of the jobs, create new jobs. And if you have to really capture the new jobs, your talent, in the next young generation should be equipped with that. That's the job of academia, right?
Okay, excellent. Thanks, Navid. In fact, this leads to the next question. Now there is a clear demand for space. And for the commercial space, let's take the year 1920, the COVID time. People thought and companies thought that the model itself is changing and we are going to work from home. So you are going to reduce the cost of operations substantially in terms of rent and staff welfare and other expenses. This was, people thought that globally it is going to stay forever. But now it is completely changed. Even in US, in Silicon Valley, you are supposed to report for 3 days a week or 4 days a week. And Indian companies have also called back most of the employees to come to the office at least part of the week, if not fully. So the real estate price, namely in terms of investment or rentals, is substantially increasing. Do we have sufficient space in Coimbatore? Because some of my clients said that the investment is at its peak for investment, or even rentals have also substantially increased from a commercial space. How do you see this? And in fact, do we have adequate absorption? Do we have adequate space? In fact, I am told that it's availability is only less than 10%, and the 3 times it has gone up. Can you just give your perspective and thought process from the developer as well as occupier's perspectives?
Okay, got it. So I'll take this on 2 steps, or I'll answer this in a couple of ways. One is just to give you a comparison and a background. Way back in 2020, if you see the pre-COVID days, as a city, Coimbatore used to do only about 100 to 200,000 square feet of leasing, purely from ITS occupiers. But if you see in the last few years, between 22 onwards, but stabilized in 23 and in 24, the city has absorbed almost around 1.2 to 1.4 million square feet of space. That means a lot of new age companies who wants to set up a base in Coimbatore have come into the city, number one. Number 2 is, because of this, if you see in the current scheme of things, with a current, from a data perspective, the city has almost 8.6 million square feet of stock, which is commercial in nature. I'm not counting the captives which are already having base, like the companies who own real estate in the city, which is almost a 4 million square feet today. If you look at it, the entire vacancy of this city, it is just at a 6% today, which is very, very negligible. And we have seen in the recent past, when we did some deals for some of the large occupiers, for 100,000 square feet of space, there are 6 companies who are fighting for the same space. Okay, and thereby the rentals are increasing, which is one way it is good for the developer, but at the same time the occupier has to feel that the comfort in paying that kind of rental for that particular market. However, if you look at in the next couple of years, almost 3 to 4 million square feet of new office space demand is going to be built in terms of supply. That is, some of the developers who are already having a base in the city, who are pouring more concrete and creating the opportunity for more occupiers to come and take space. Because like people who already stabilized in the city for the last 5-7 years, they will definitely want to scale up, because Coimbatore is no longer considered as a short-term city. It is a long-term city for large occupiers today. So I think return to office is very good in the city, which is close to around some more than 75%, thanks to multiple domains which the city has. Because you one side you see engineering R&D dominating the city. From a BFSI perspective, a lot of new entrants are coming into the city. From like what Naveed said, GCC share is increasing. And if you see the flex market, like for example, co-working spaces are in super demand today, because those are the pockets which gives which gives a huge momentum for the city to propel to the next league.
Generally, co-working space to, when do they graduate? Within, what is the general average timeline for the co-working space to move to their own space, Guru?
So from an occupier perspective, if you look at it, sir, see, some of the occupiers today are taking this as a long term, because like some occupiers consider this as a short term. Let me go incubate myself for a 50-seater, 100-seater. Let me stabilize in the city for a year or two, and then go and invest my capex into a conventional space and move it. But co-working as an industry is coming, it is getting mature to the next level. If you see overall India, there is almost 70 to 80 million square feet of office space is getting absorbed year on year. And 25% of this is consumed by co-working operators, which enables some of the occupiers to go very capex light. They don't have to invest capex. So I don't see any timeline specifics, sir. It depends on their business potential. It depends on how they want to invest their capex.
Do you have an idea about the number of square feet last year that was absorbed?
Okay. So in last year, from a co-working perspective, if you see, it is a 12,500 seats capacity in the city, which actually holds 7 lakh to 8 lakh square feet of office space. And year on year, if you see, there is a 14 to 15% of absorption is catering towards co-working, while the office space absorption from a conventional side is almost in the range of around 1 to 1.2 million square feet. So,
do you think the supply is adequate or demand is more?
So today demand is more. There is a lot of good quality supply has to come in, because if you see the vacancy, it is very, very negligible from both from conventional ITS buildings and also from co-working. It is just a very single digit number, sir. I think a more good quality commercial real estate has to come in, and that will take care of the demand for the upcoming years.
Okay. Thanks, Guru. And one more question is, what are the expectations of Gen Z employees? You know, now the employees dictate, or you know, they change the company just because based on the amenities and facilities. Yeah. So what are the current expectations of Gen Z employees? Can you
Okay. Today we did a recce for one of our large client who wants to put in almost 7,000 seats in Coimbatore. Okay. That is his vision. So when the client came into the city and when we did a round of the entire tour of the entire city, some of the occupiers will look at the kind of amenities that the building has. It is no longer going to be a standalone office building will do the talking for an occupier. Because today, the kind of people what the occupiers are recruiting is like what you say, Gen Z. And they all look at like it is like an experience what they can get in their workspace. Like the kind of amenities, the kind of F&B outlets, the kind of indoor and outdoor gaming zones, the kind of culture what they're expecting out of a large campus, which is completely changing. So I think amenities play a very big role in commercial real estate going forward.
Yeah. Thanks, Guru. Sushil, for the same question, how you would react in terms of the commercial space, and since you are also from real estate background?
Yeah, I think the demand of commercial space, like Mr. Guru, right? Sorry, said, is humongous. In fact, I think he underplayed some numbers. I think Coimbatore will see not less than about 10 to 15 million square feet of commercial office spaces in the next 3 to 5 years. That is the kind of a demand. And like he also rightly said, and I told you previously that we're doing one project of 3.5 million square feet. Obviously, it's a huge project, so we did our research and we spoke to almost about 25 IT companies in Bangalore saying, would you be willing to move to Coimbatore? And you'll not believe we almost got a letter of intent from almost about 8 to 10 of them saying, yes, we need 5 lakh square feet, we need 2 lakh square feet. So that is the kind of a demand what is seeing. And I think that is because of the entire city growing. I would not be surprised at all if 2 or 5 years from now, like Bombay is called the financial capital of India, Coimbatore will be called the financial capital of Tamil Nadu.
Even now it's called Coimbatore.
It is
financial
called,
capital.
okay,
Yeah,
I am
it's
not aware
Coimbatore,
of that,
yeah.
sorry. So I see that potential there in that city, and the growth and the demand is very high. The demand is very high.
Do you see the threat in terms of the companies may, because of the exorbitant prices, would they move to tier 3 cities like Zogo had gone to a tier 3 city? Do you see a threat in the direction?
No threat. That's the benefit what Coimbatore
No, no,
has
I'm
today.
saying
So if I
from
compare
Coimbatore,
the
no, no,
real
from
estate prices
Coimbatore-
compared to Chennai or Bangalore,
No, I'm saying from Coimbatore to people move to Udumalpet or other nearby smaller places.
that
to
could
avoid
happen
the
for
real
the
estate
mid-size
prices.
or the SME companies who can't afford Coimbatore anymore. But people who are wanting to move from Bombay, Bangalore, and Chennai, Coimbatore is still affordable. What Coimbatore lacks just now, I think, is a quality real estate. You know, an infrastructure where you're not just making a commercial building, but you're also creating whether it is food opportunities, whether it is entertainment opportunities, or recreation opportunities for the people who are working there. Because that is what now people want. They want everything in one place so that when they go to work, they're not only working but also spending the whole day, in a relaxing manner. So the infrastructure is what is lacking, I would say. And if real estate developers in Coimbatore can really look at that aspect of adding value to the customer's lifestyle, things can change drastically.
Thank you, Sushil. Now, it's a real estate question, Shiva. As they pointed out, real estate is a huge factor because as the employer is concerned, many of the companies feel that the pricing is high in Coimbatore, and also the employees, the affordability is a missing factor because when you want to invest in the first aspiration of any new employee is to buy a house property, buy a car and a house property. So now the house property is also going up and the price in terms of prices. So do you have any modern trend or model which will give answer to this? Also, you can say on the new trends in terms of developing the cities or satellite cities.
Yeah. See, if you just look at Coimbatore as such, when we started actually, initially we were a B2B developer and we were land aggregators initially. So post-COVID is where we moved into B2C. That is where we started catering to the end customers as such. Okay, so if you just look at in 22, we started a project called City 1. Okay, City 1.0 is what we started. It is a 300 acres land development. Okay, so we sold it in a record time of 6 months' time. So it was completely sold out. So that's the kind of absorption that people look at, or that's the kind of quality that people look for. Earlier, the development used to be typically they just put a layout and then given land parcel for customers. But when we stepped in as G Square, we started developing high quality land parcels. That is where the absorption started happening pretty fast. As Sushil was saying, we are now just coming out, we will be launching another project which is 1,000 acres in Coimbatore, which is a multi-development area, out of which 400 acres would be plotted development. The remaining 600 acres is open for the multi-development where you will be able to set up. We are open even for JV for grade A and grade B builders who wants to take up the land parcel and develop, be it an MSB or be it an entertainment zone or be it hotels, be it hospitals. So already there is a lot of EOIs that we have already got in terms of this. This is in the corporation limit. So this is not in terms of too far away from Coimbatore. It's a place called Coimbatore. So it's there bang on the outer ring road, the WRR road which is coming up. So G Square is coming out with a lot of developments in Coimbatore. We have already completed almost around 25 projects in Coimbatore, which is almost sold out. So this new project also would cater to a lot of new development that can come across imagine 1,000 acres in one location, which is in the foothills of the Western Ghats.
Do we have the right inventory?
Pardon?
Right inventory?
That's what I said. You have a choice when it comes to 1,000 acres of land parcel, where we have from 1.5 cents, it goes up to 60 cents for an housing development, that is residential development. And for commercial, the space is completely open. So it is more in terms of like, select and choose how much you want. So it all depends on the appetite of the companies or the organizations which need to place in a much like, a secured community areas or a much better like, infrastructure that can be had.
Okay, thank you, Shiva. Now, in fact, a question to Sushil on retail segment. In fact, retail is a reflection of cities' evolvement and also the disposable income that the city people are having, and the mall culture and experiential shopping. Where do we stand in terms of retail segment in Coimbatore? Do you have, since you are involved with a couple of malls, probably you can throw light on this, Sushil.
As I told you before, initially Coimbatore had just one mall. In the last 1 decade, it has become 4 malls now. And even Phoenix is now looking at setting up a almost 1.8 million square feet mall in Coimbatore. You have already seen Lulu coming there. And there are another 3 or 4 malls which are on the drawing board in various parts of Coimbatore. We are creating a 2 million square feet mall in E-Road called Tex Valley, which was initially a B2B concept. Now we're converting that into B2B and B2C. And we're seeing a huge interest from national and international brands coming to Coimbatore. So the propensity, as I told you, if a mall like Brookfield is doing 2,000 rupees of sale per square feet per month, which is humongous, and after having 4 malls in the city, so, and another 2 malls, it is only going to add to the facility and the growing population of Coimbatore. Retail is a very good thermometer to measure a city's prosperity. Okay, if you look at even Chennai, I'm just trying to collate, Chennai still has only about 3 or 4 good malls. Okay, I think Chennai also has huge potential, but I don't want to change the focus. But Coimbatore, because of strategic location and also supply of textiles. By the way, I think the way the textile market has evolved in Coimbatore in the last 3-4 years, Coimbatore was predominantly a cotton-driven market. Post-COVID, almost about 30% of MMF, which is, they call it as man-made fiber, has taken. So which also shows that the manufacturers there are very versatile, ready to change as per the demand. Last year, if I am not mistaken, Coimbatore, E-Road, Tirupur belt contributed almost about 55 to 60,000 crores of turnover, exports of textiles alone, which was almost a 20% growth. So with Bangladesh taking a little backseat, I think that's a great advantage for Coimbatore manufacturers or textile manufacturers in the Coimbatore region to, catch up with the world. Also, what I also see in the textile market is there's a lot of innovation which has happened, whether it is AI-enabled supply chain. I visited one of the factories where almost a 2 lakh square feet warehouse was manned by one single person. That is the kind of automation they have evolved to. And that is what I would say puts Coimbatore apart from anybody else, is the innovation what people are doing there to make it more efficient. So once you become efficient, your cost comes down. And that is what will make you survive, and that will what will make you compete with the world markets.
Right. Thanks, Sushil. This retail leads to another question. Naveed can answer the question. You are handling more than 10,000 employees. So what is the mindset of the employees, or what are the expectations of the current younger generation in terms of lifestyle? Because one of the common complaints that the big companies or IT-enabled companies or IT companies say is,
we are not getting middle management or senior management because they do not want a city like Coimbatore. There is no nightlife or work-life balance is missing. How you would react to that question, and what is your sense on that, Naveed?
I think there was a question also on Gen Zs, right? So it's not for middle or senior management. Typically, what we hear is from youngsters who join straight from college, that after probably a few months they start looking at what Coimbatore is offering, right, in terms of life experiences. So this is always there, that unlike other, if you compare with Bangalore, Hyderabad or even Chennai, the options are very limited, and this is something which as a use experience, I think some of you mentioned that we need to create that space where people get to see opportunities to connect, have a social interaction beyond their office space. And this is something which Coimbatore still lacks. I think there are, of course, significant developments in the last years, because I'm someone who is in Coimbatore. I've seen last 15 years of Coimbatore. There are significant changes which is there in the city, but I think it is still not probably enough. So that's one. But another thing which we see as a shift in Gen Zs is that people now start looking at life around. I mean, Coimbatore is fortunate with a lot of nature around, right? You have Western Ghats on one side, you have hill stations, and it's also there are people who are now a lot more health conscious. People do not want to go out and weekends and drink. Most of the youngsters probably they don't even touch alcohol. That is something which we see in Gen Zs. So now there is a lot of movement happening in the form of people going out in the weekends, trekking, and I think that's a healthy trend, and Coimbatore has a lot more to offer. So we currently see a lot of new small how do you say, self-interest group coming up, especially in the software IT space, and we promote that a lot more. Marathon, cycling, biking, and I think that's a good trend. And there we are, instead of copying another city, we look at what is unique about this city and how do we use it a lot more, which is beneficial. Yeah.
Excellent. Thanks, Naveed. In fact, when we talk about Coimbatore, we cannot miss talking about MSME sector. Coimbatore is, in fact, when we talk about MSME all over the country, there are about 6.3 crore MSMEs are there in India. And MSME contributes 26% of employment to the population, and MSME contributes 30% of India's GDP. Also, they contribute 45% of exports. Having said that, Coimbatore has a strong MSME ecosystem, basically. And the Kodisha, which is well known in the country, is an association which takes care of the MSME ecosystem, and several wet grinders, kitchen equipment, and smaller parts. MSME, Kodisha is taking care, and MSMEs are playing a vital role. Now, in terms of adoption of technology, especially on AI, in terms of increased productivity or reduced wastage, optimization of inventory, the adoption of AI, what are the bottlenecks that the MSMEs may face? And we understand that AI, even though we say that it reduces a lot of employment, it's prohibitively expensive. I think it has not reached its mature level. So probably Naveed can throw some light on that.
I think one of the hallmark of Coimbatore is this entrepreneurship. That is, again, people coming together, building something on their own. So MSMEs is a true reflection of the entrepreneurship and industrial hunger of the population there. And that's if you look at any industry for that matter, there is a piece of Coimbatore coming in, right, in terms of component, and that's something which the storyline continues to be there. Now, if you look at with the technology changes, I think we talked about role of automation, right? How do we use automation to be more efficient? AI is one important element in this automation space. So which means you can bring in, if you have access to those technologies, you can bring that into any industry for that matter, and create high value. And obviously, which means that the upskilling has to happen, right? You need to attract talent. The small companies do not have access to those technologies as well. So one thing which we realize is that there is a need to support this ecosystem. This is a part of Coimbatore Next, which CIA is also spearheading. This program is in fact bringing together companies around. Industry is part of, high-tech companies are part of, we are part of that. Academy is part of, because there is a talent need. Governmental agencies have to be part of. So for example, we work with the TIDCO, who is in the Tamil Nadu Industry Development Corporation, who is in fact interested in building various cities. They enable. Startup Tamil Nadu is part of, because they are building startups. So we are bringing this ecosystem together and then work with MSMEs. How can we kind of help MSMEs to build capabilities, bring technologies in an affordable, because TIDCO wants to also enable that, affordable technologies, right? So we support them in, I'll give you an example, right? If you are into electronic products and if you want to export, cyber security is important. There are, standards which you need to comply with, right? Your products should be secure. Now, small companies cannot do that, right? Because they cannot build this technology on their own. So we are working now with TIDCO to improve the capability of the industry, bring solutions in an affordable price, and so that they can actually bring it in and then scale up faster. So these kind of enablers are required, and to on one side help the industry. On the other side, there are also opportunities that needs to be capitalized.
Right, because technology, as far as technology is concerned, the timing is very important, probably to make it lighter. A person said that my great-grandfather invented parachute. Then the others exclaimed, so then you should have been a multi-billionaire by now. He said, no, he invented parachute much before aeroplane was invented. So, the kind of timing is very important when you adopt technology or embrace technology. So, how you manage these situations?
I think timing is right. If you look at, on one side we see there is a huge demand in India market itself, because there is a huge consumption, right? So we have a population, in fact their affordability is higher. There is a requirement for technology in India, so there are products that are required. The second element we talk about in the form of help we get from globally, right? We have Trump in fact helping us in some way. We have our neighbor China helping in some way, right, in terms of supply. So there is also a kind of demand to create indigenous technologies, products, as for example import replacement is one area, right? If you have restriction in import, you can actually create them here. Of course, which needs, the industry needs to scale up, So I would say right now the timing is really right. Government also wants to promote. There are a lot of funding coming from governmental side in the new technologies.
Absolutely. Money is no way debt.
Right.
We are not lacking any money at all. And of course, as you mentioned, Trump, from tomorrow onwards, 25% additional duty is there for any product that are being exported. And we expect, from India to US, we are exporting about $80 billion. So people expect there could be a cut on 25% on this. There could be a kind of, but these things would lead to another way of disruptions, and we will be maybe inventing something and innovating ourselves. So thank you, Naveen. And before going to the last round of questions, it's open to the audience for any questions to any of the panelists.
Check. Is this working? Yeah. So I have 2-3 questions. One is the 300-acre sold off in 6 months. Can you tell me which area of Coimbatore that was?
It is in the L&T bypass.
Okay. And also from the others, can you just name the top 3 high-demand locations in Coimbatore for residential properties? And the 3 upcoming as well.
See, if you just look at from a development part, Kalapatti is one area which is IT corridor. Coimbatore is another area which is connecting Palakkad, which is going to be the outer ring road, which is going to be the economy corridor, which is connecting Palakkad, Mysore, Chennai, Bangalore highways. So that's going to be a huge expansion as such. These 2 areas are on very high demand in terms of Coimbatore. The other place is Panimadai, which is on the other side of Kalapatti, which is an extension of it. So these areas would have high demands in terms of the new areas which is getting developed as such.
And lastly, do you have any information about the residential rental yield, which has to do with your annual rent that you make out of the property value?
See, the ROI, if you just look at from a residential point, see today Coimbatore is not an culture where you have an high-rise buildings and multi-story apartments. They are more conservative. They look at more of an individual houses, but now they are looking at more of a secured community as such. Okay, the gated community would have high UDS values, which is getting depreciated. Plus, you would end up paying maintenance charges throughout your life. So which they are very calculative. So they don't look at an gated community as such, but they look at a secured community. So when I say secured community, it's more in terms of an secured area where you have a lot of development which is more structured, okay, and it's a plug and play kind of development that they look at, and that is what is more prominent right now in Coimbatore.
Thank you, thank you.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Badrinath. Coimbatore, I was there in Coimbatore from 1990 to 2000. It's a very small place, Coimbatore. The city is very small city. This is Oraspuram, Sai Baba Colony, that side race course and Avinashi.
கடைசி எப்போ சார் போனீங்க? கடைசி எப்போ
இல்ல
போனீங்க?
கடைசியா நான் ஒரு 5 years முன்னாடி போயிருந்தேன்.
சார் கோயம்புத்தூர் எங்கேயோ போயிடுச்சு.
இல்ல அதான், that's what I am coming to the point. The city has been expanded. இப்போ இன்னும் அதில் இன்னும் பொட்டன்ஷியல் எந்தெந்த ஏரியாவில் இன்னும் பொட்டன்ஷியல் இருக்கு, நீங்கள் எந்தெந்த ஏரியாவில் யூ ஆர் ஃபோக்கஸிங்?
சார் சொல்கிறேன், இந்த சைடு நீங்கள் போனீங்கன்னா திருப்பூர் வரைக்கும் எக்ஸ்பேண்ட் ஆயிடுச்சு சார். இந்த சைடு பாலக்காடு வரைக்கும் எக்ஸ்பேண்ட் ஆயிடுச்சு. நீங்கள் எந்த சைடு எடுத்தீங்கனாலும் கோயம்புத்தூர் இஸ் எக்ஸ்பேண்டிங் tremendously. The reason being is there is a huge demand in the market, okay, and there is a lot of, as the panelists were talking about, there is a lot of movement from tier 1 city to tier 2. Okay, when you just look at Tamil Nadu tier 2, Coimbatore is the place. All others locations comes across next, like be it Madurai or in Trichy. The connectivity is one major part. Second thing is the pool, talent pool. Okay, there are almost around 1 lakh pass out students every year. Okay, only from Coimbatore educational institutions. You just go the length and breadth of Coimbatore, you will find only the educational institutions or the healthcare areas. So there is a huge potential which is available. Okay, mostly right now these people are moving to Bangalore or to Hyderabad. Okay, in terms of working. This talent is available in Coimbatore. So every organization is looking at setting up their facility in Coimbatore, and wherever there is a land parcel which is available, they are just trying to just develop there. Right now, if you just look at Kalapatti is one area which is tremendously growing. Okay, all IT parks are coming over there. So you have huge potential. L&T is coming out with 3 million square feet of. So there is a huge development which is happening across. And Mr. Susil was telling about 3.5 million square feet of retail space which is coming across.
Okay, thank you.
Thanks.
Hello. What is the rough cost of, you told that you have sold 300 acres and all, no? What is the rough cost?
Okay, yeah. Sir, real estate is all about how the demand increases. Okay, we started with 6 lakhs %, which is 435 square feet. So right now, the same place in 2 years have jumped 3 times. So which is almost around 15 to 16 lakhs %. So that's a kind of ROI, you were asking about how the ROI is. It's growing huge. Okay, the early you invest, the early you reap. So how early you want to get it across, it all depends on. And once the demand increases, the price goes up. The land is an limited commodity, so you don't get developed lands.
Sir, good evening. This is Madhumala Nahar here. I am reading Reimagining Growth in Coimbatore and Beyond. When will you be having such programs for reimagining growth in Chennai?
That's not a question to us as a panelist out here. So it's more in terms of the government, where they are looking at, and government also has their limitation in terms of the infrastructure which is already been developed. Okay, you don't have space for them to now expand. So it is getting expanded. If you just look at Chennai, It's grown length and breadth of 70 kilometers now. So you are already there in Chengalpet, or you are already there in Tiruvallur. So if you ask Chennai to get developed as such, it's tough. As Sir was asking about Coimbatore, it's now developing. So there is a lot of scope for us to structure it, develop it more so that it doesn't disturb the existing people who are living there.
So G Square can do in Chennai also.
We need land, ma'am.
I think maybe just to add to what you said, Tamil Nadu is probably one of the states where it is more balanced growth. If you look at, right, it's not just Coimbatore. We have Madurai, we have Trichy, we have Tirunelveli, Thuthukudi, Salem, now Hosur. So I think that's something which is required to have a lot more balanced growth, decongest big cities, and in general uplift the whole economy. And I think that there I feel even Coimbatore should not grow beyond a certain limit.
So this is
Good
Sanjay
evening.
Jain here.
This is a question to Mr. Navi. Hello.
You're asking about the metro train. Okay. So it is already, the second phase has already been, the GO has already been cleared. So the expansion is on all the sites. It is typically almost around 40 kilometers radius. So you would definitely get every length and breadth of Coimbatore would get covered in that.
Yeah, but metro is likely to be little delayed. Metro is not likely to be done immediately. So probably you may wait to, because there are certain technical glitches.
So this is Sanjay Jain here in the front. My question is, given these times of war, even though the land parcels, land is limited thing, one side the income of the people, other side the expenditure things. Third, what are all the caveat from the buyer's point of view in terms of this war? How do you map that? Because we talk hell a lot of roses, but life comes along with thorns. So given roses versus thorns, from the buyer's perspective, land parcels, since you are a sellers, you will talk always, and it's natural, it's fact, land parcels, everything we have spoken, whatever the possible things are there, which is fact as well. How do you view from the buyer's point of view the caveats in times of war? Because I have come across through predictive analytics in artificial intelligence that from 2025 end from the rest of these till 2032, the world is going to facing towards the Third World War, which India will be pushed to Third World War in 2029 or 30 probably, and things are getting worse. So the turbulence of the world economy, India will still be a most safest place as per predictive analytics, given the God's sakes that Third World War will never happen. But from given this VUCA world thing, considering the Third World War, how do you view that?
Oh, your questions.
Please.
Go ahead.
No,
yeah.
please.
No, go ahead. Sure.
See, if you just look at from the land point, okay, as you are saying, how an end customer is going to be getting benefited out of it. See, G Square I can just speak from a perspective in terms of how do we work across. We work on large land parcels. So which means we go it across in terms of manufacturer kind of situation. So the affordability in terms of client, if you just look at a land parcel which is in a main area, most of the G Square properties are on the main road access. Okay, so your price goes across, determines only on how the access is from the main road. So we acquire the larger land parcel right from the main road, and to an extent of in terms of even it goes down to 1 kilometer's radius inside. So which means the first parcel that we take would be on the higher side, but the rear one would be at the lower side. So at an average price, when I just look at, I would end up probably if you just look at the first parcel is at 10 lakhs, the last one is at 1 lakh. So I would end up at an average of 5 to 6 lakhs per cent. Whereas when I start looking at what I offer to the customer, would be at with all my overheads and expenses would be at somewhere around 8 lakhs per cent, which is 20% lesser than the market price. Okay, so customer gets it at lesser price. That's the reason why we were able to sell out most of our properties as soon as we launch. Okay, all our properties when we launch, we look at 3 to 6 months is the time period that we would like to exhaust. Because we want to just do a course correction in the market in terms of the price. Second is in terms of affordability to the end customer. So G Square looks at more of volume rather than not in terms of an higher. None of our projects or been prolonged for 3 years or 4 years.
Thanks, Shiva.
Yeah.
Thanks for that. And last question.
Sir,
Because,
this is my question. My name is Vinod. This is question to Mr. Naveed. So when you choose Coimbatore as your second destination, apart from talent, is there any specific things which supported Coimbatore to choose as a destination?
Yeah, I think there are many factors. Talent was one of the biggest, but if you look at from the angle of the location itself, right? It is well connected. It is not only in Tamil Nadu, we have access to then the the tier 2, tier 3 cities, but it is also closer to the neighboring state of Kerala. You have academic institutions. It is probably the only city which has access to 2 IITs, for example, right? So you have IIT Madras as well as now in the neighboring IIT Palakkad. Entrepreneurship is one, and also when you talk about multicultural, Coimbatore has connect with many European countries, right? There are, even before we came in, there were German companies, Swiss companies who are in Coimbatore. They were, because there are machines which are of course made, and there are exchanges in the technology space. So even for expatriates who come in, that is one big part of any GCCs. You would need to bring, there are people who from different countries who would want to come for technologies transfer training and all that. And they also would like to experience that. Coimbatore has an expatriate population which was equivalent to, in that ways, many other metropolitan that time, right? So people who came over also felt at home. Partnership with foreign universities. This is another one. So which means there are people who study there, for example in Germany, people who wanted to come back. So there were many other parameters which are there in Coimbatore, which is normally not very visible, because most of the time when we talk about, we think Coimbatore has to emerge, but it has actually emerged. Coimbatorians do not talk about it most. They were very happy to do their work. So it is important to advertise the strength of Coimbatore a lot more outside. It has to be discovered. The value of Coimbatore has to be discovered. Only when you are there you will experience that value. And I think that is one thing which we think events like this is extremely important. You give opportunity for people.
The number of questions and the excitement, it's a testimony for the Coimbatore attractiveness. Probably with the last question, because we are running out of the time, and also panelists will be available post of this session. Then quickly. Yeah.
My question is to Mr. Shivakumar. And you have a site on Kamaraj Road, connecting between Hope College to Trichy Road, and which was probably developed some 3 years back, but there is not a single construction there. My question is why? My second question is, and the area you talked, Kalapati, it is very expensive, but less occupied. And as far as infrastructure is concerned, road is very poor there, width of the road and that kind of things. And do you have any plan as a developer to improve that?
Quickly ஒரு நிமிஷத்துல சொல்லிடுங்க சார். அதுக்கப்புறம் நீங்க half an hour you will be available for him after the meeting. சார் நீங்க அவரை பிடிச்சிங்க, half an hour பிடிச்சிக்கலாங்க
சார். ரொம்ப சிம்பிள் சார். யார் லேண்ட் வாங்குறாங்களோ அவங்க mostly see there are only 2 reasons why people buy land. One is they want to construct, the other one is in terms of investment. Okay, they have money. The best part is to either invest it in gold or in terms of land. So நிறைய பேர் லேண்ட்ல இன்வெஸ்ட் பண்றாங்க. அவங்க கட்டுறாங்களா கட்டலையாங்கிறது அவங்களோட விருப்பத்தை பொறுத்து இருக்கு. சார்
எஸ் சார். சார் இது கொஞ்சம் முடிச்சு டைம் ஆயிடுச்சுங்க. 8 o'clock முன்னாடி முடிக்கணும். Probably one sentence we can finish, and he is available for the next 1 hourங்க. முடிஞ்ச உடனே மீட்டிங் முடிஞ்ச உடனே he is available.
Sure, sir.
But I think the second part of the question, if this is the IT corridor, the whole of Kalapatti Road, and if you look at the master plan of Coimbatore, this is one of the stretches that is going to get developed very fast.
Exactly.
You are expecting elevated highway and all that, including to Saranambatti space. So I think that's something which has to
ring
happen.
road also which is coming up.
It is already in the plan, but the question is, when is it going to start?
So we are going to conclude the panel discussion now with a question to all panelists. 1 minute, not more than 1 minute. What are the 2 things that you may want additionally from Coimbatore to make it more vibrant, more attractive, and more smarter? Just 1 minute. Probably start with Shiva.
Yeah, if you just ask me from my side, I would ask the government to look at more in terms of the infrastructure development. That would add more value to the entire development of the, for new entrants to come inside. Okay, so that's more in terms of attraction. And, pardon, sir? Sir, the road breadth, what he was talking about. See, currently the traffic that needs to accommodate that place. So definitely the road, then you need water, then you need electricity, connectivity, all these things is basic infrastructure that needs to be provided for any development that needs to happen. Okay, you have all the connectivities in terms of railways or in terms of airways, everything is excellent there. Connecting the major cities is also not a issue, but internally area developments is required. Second is more in terms of the multicultural activities, which is Mr. Sushil's area of retail space where you have a lot of entertainments coming up, okay, a lot of hospitality areas, okay, which is still lacking if you just look at from Coimbatore point. So those are things is what I feel needs to be developed immediately as such.
Thanks, Shiva. Navid?
Yeah, I think my wish would be that the government seats its shift from Chennai to Coimbatore for at least for 6 months so things to really develop. But to me, all what we talked about, right, infrastructure is required. It has to really lead, not catch up. Roads, connectivity, metro, we talked about. Ring roads have to be there around for actually for city to expand. And more than that, I would say that people who are interested, be there, be the voice of Coimbatore, right? So take the course outside and then get a lot more development there. Right?
Thank you, Navid. Sushil?
I don't want to become a part of any controversy, but I think one of the things what people in Coimbatore and around Coimbatore have to develop is communication skills. I have been working with a lot of SMEs there, and most of them cannot speak anything beyond Tamil. And I think that can be a great hindrance when it comes to growth.
ChatGPT perku sir.
Sir, ChatGPT, like he said, AI, he changed AI from augmented intelligence to completely astrological intuitiveness, So everything has their limitations, but see, what humans can do, nobody else can do, I think, and I see this, because people have great vision, they are very well educated, everything. But when it comes to communication, I remember one of the interviews of a great gentleman from Chennai, I forget his name just now. He said, I'm a billionaire today. If I knew a third language, I would have been a trillionaire. So language is very important, especially when you have the world on your map, when you want to grow all around. Communication beyond one language is very, very important.
Okay, thank you. On a lighter note, better you learn Tamil since you are doing business in Tamil Nadu. I am sure you can talk Tamil.
Sir, konjo pesra.
Very nice, very nice.
Okay, so that is what I talk adaptability. So I'm from Bombay.
No, like
naan kuda Tamil pesra. Konjo kathukina. Anna, that is for my benefit I've learned.
Right.
That's what I'm trying.
Thanks, Sushil. Yeah, Guru?
Yeah, sir, I think the momentum is all set and we are at the right pace. Only thing is we should not miss the bus to somebody else because every neighboring cities, neighboring states are all watching. So it is like we have to pick up the pace from purely from private developers, landowners, in terms of institutional developers. We should fast track the pace and we should cope up and capture the moments. We should not miss out to...
No, by whom? By the stakeholders or by the bureaucrats or...
by the stakeholders who are developing the city.
Okay.
So,
thank you. Friends, the past 1.5 hours discussion clearly confirms and reaffirms that Coimbatore is not just growing, but it's transforming and evolving as a investor-friendly and a smart city. I am sure with the manufacturing base, along with the new age aspirations, the city is likely to not only be in the Indian map, but also in the international map. With the right private enterprise, sustainable planning, and the government's participation, I am sure the city is going to reach a right destination. As there is a saying, if you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go along with people. Similarly, the collaborative spirit is absolutely essential for reaching the destination. With this, I once again, on behalf of all the panelists, I sincerely thank for being a wonderful audience. Thank you very much. Leave it over to MC.
Thank you so much, sir. Can we have a big round of applause for our panelists for such an engaging session? I'd like to call upon Mr. Suresh Nambat, editor, The Hindu, to present the memento. With big round of applause, ladies and gentlemen, let's welcome Mr. Suresh Nambat on the stage. Memento to Mr. Karthikeyan, who was a wonderful moderator today. A big round of applause, please. To Mr. Navid Narayan. Vice President, Mobility Solutions R&D Center. Could you just stand for a photograph, sir? Yes, thank you. Sir, thank you so much for doing the honors. I'd like to call upon Mr. Shafiqur Rahman, General Manager, Head Events, The Hindu. With big round of applause, can we have him on stage, please? So he'll be presenting the memento to Mr. Shivakumar, Global Business Head, G Square Group. A big round of applause for Mr. Shivakumar, please. Thank you. The next memento to Mr. Susil DUNGARWAL, Chief Mall Mechanic, Beyond Square Feet. Thank you. And to Mr. Guru Raja. Thank you so much for your presence, sir. Thank you once again. Thank you so much, sir, for doing the honors. So this concludes our program. We invite you to join us for dinner and cocktails. Thank you so much once again.
Welcome to G Square 7 Hill. G Square 7 Hill City, where vision becomes reality. Welcome to G Square 7 Hill City, a landmark township where pure air, panoramic landscapes and urban connectivity meet. Located at the base of the Western Ghats in Coimbatore, this community offers a naturally cooler climate, zero pollution and a lifestyle that feels like a daily retreat. All just 20 minutes from Coimbatore city centre. Why invest here? Strategic location. Located within Coimbatore Corporation limits, Coimbatore enjoys direct access to the Ukkaram flyover, Western Ring Road and the proposed metro corridor. Unlike Sulur, Saravanambatti and Kallapatti, where travel to the city centre takes 45 to 120 minutes, Coimbatore offers seamless connectivity to Gandhipuram in just 15 minutes thanks to the new Ukkaram flyover. Pleasant climate, 6 degrees Celsius cooler than central Coimbatore. Surrounded by 10,000 hectares of forest, earning its title as Coimbatore's mini Ooty. Robust connectivity. Access to major routes including L&T bypass, NH 948, NH 544, SH181, SH167 and SH162, connecting you to all corners of the region. Why it's called an uncut diamond? G Square 7 Hill City is an uncut diamond because this huge land parcel remained untouched for years, even while within city corporation limits. New infrastructures like the Ukkadam flyover and Western Ring Road has finally unlocked its potential. The land was previously held by a Dubai-based company, stalling progress until G Square stepped in to shape it into a world-class township. Now, this hidden gem is ready to shine, transforming Coimbatore into Coimbatore's next real estate success story. A city within the city, 250 plus world-class amenities, grand 40,000 square feet clubhouse with wellness and leisure features, shopping mall with 4-screen multiplex, premium MSD villas, MSD school and MSD Sports Academy, 1 lakh square feet commercial hub plus futuristic tech park, hospitals like KG inside the township. What lies ahead? Ring Road boomed just like Hyderabad and Bengaluru. Ring roads boost land value and fast-track urban growth. Airport access. Ukkadam and Avinashi flyover provide smooth connectivity to Coimbatore International Airport. 35 million square feet of office space, 3.5 lakh new jobs and 600 plus startups on the rise. Future IT corridor. Be at the center of Coimbatore's next industrial and tech revolution. Peaceful living, powerful returns. G Square 7 Hill City is more than a home. It's your launch pad into the future. Live elevated, invest early, lead the future.
Some cities wait for change, but Coimbatore, it's already moving fast. A city backed by vision, driven by development. Powered by the Coimbatore 2041 Master Plan. Roads are expanding. Industries are booming. The future is being built right now. And at the heart of it all is G Square, South India's largest real estate developer. We are not just watching Coimbatore grow. We are building it. With 20 plus premium projects launching in the coming months, we are set to reshape the skyline and the spirit of the city. From residential hubs to plotted communities, we are supporting Coimbatore's rise. With speed, scale and vision, we are shaping future-ready communities in the fastest-growing pockets of the city. Because Coimbatore 2041 isn't a dream, it's a plan in motion. And G Square is leading the way. Join us, witness the rise of a city and making of a legacy.
என்ன பாபு சொந்தமா பிளாட் வாங்கி வீடு கட்ட போறியாமே?
என்ன பாபு வீடு கட்ட எம் சாண்டா இல்ல ஆத்து மணலா?
ரெண்டும் இல்ல, நீ வெச்சி உப்புமாலே நான் கட்டிக்கிறேன்.
டாய்லெட் ஃபிட்டிங்ஸ்லாம் பார்த்து பண்ணணும் பாபு.
அதெல்லாம் நான் பாத்துக்கிறேன், நீ பார்க்காம போ.
ஃப்ளோருக்கு கிரானைட்டா மார்பிளா இல்ல விட்ரிஃபைட் டைல்ஸா?
வெட்டிவேரா?
பைப்ஸ் எப்படி பிவிசியா நார்மலா?
போமா அந்த பக்கம்.
விண்டோஸ்லாம் எப்படி? வுட்டா?
இன்டீரியர் டிசைனர் யாரு?
ஃபால் சீலிங் இருக்கா?
ஓ என்ன சாவடிக்கிற சார், நான் பிளாட்ல பாய் கூட போட்டு பத்துக்கிறேன் சார். எனக்கு வீட்ல வேணாம் சார், என்ன விட்டுருங்க சார்.
பாபு
நோ
வா தம்பி வா, G Squareல பிளாட் வாங்கு. Get free expert advice from patta to grey pravation.
நானா சொல்றேன்?
With G Square Build Assist, India's first free post purchase guidance.
ஓ புது கான்செப்டா?
ஆமா.
Presenting G Square Build Assist, tied up with 50 plus brands and up to 50% discount for G Square customers.
வணக்கம். எல்லாருக்கும் சொந்த வீடுங்கிறது ஒரு கனவா இருக்கும். அதுலயும் நம்ம சொந்த இடத்துல நமக்கு பிடிச்ச மாதிரி ஒரு வீடுன்னா சொல்லவா வேணும். அதுதான் ஒருத்தருடைய லைஃப் டைம் இன்வெஸ்ட்மெண்டா இருக்கும். ஒருத்தருக்கு சொந்த வீடு கட்டணும் அப்படிங்கிறது அவங்களுடைய 70% லைஃப் டைமோட கமிட்மெண்ட். அப்படி உங்க லைஃப்ல நீங்க செய்ய போற பெரிய இன்வெஸ்ட்மெண்ட்டை யார்கிட்ட இருந்து வாங்குறோன்றது ரொம்ப முக்கியம் இல்லையா? G Square. எல்லாரும் நினைக்கிற மாதிரி இந்த நிறுவனம் 2021ல தொடங்கி 3 வருஷம் மட்டுமே ஆன நிறுவனம் இல்ல. கிட்டத்தட்ட 12 வருஷங்களுக்கு முன்னாடி மிஸ்டர் பாலா எனப்படும் ராமஜெயம் என்பவரால் தொடங்கப்பட்டது. 2012ல இருந்து 2019 வரைக்கும் இந்தியாவின் மிகப்பெரிய கார்ப்பரேட் மற்றும் பப்ளிக் லிஸ்டட் கம்பெனிகளுக்கு 4000 ஏக்கர்களுக்கும் அதிகமான லேண்டை அக்ரிகேட் பண்ணி கொடுத்திருக்கோம்னா அப்போ லேண்ட் அக்ரிகேஷன் அனுபவம் எந்த அளவுக்கு இருக்கும்? கொரோனா வந்ததுக்கு அப்புறம் பெருசா எந்த கார்ப்பரேட்ஸும் புதுசா ஃபேக்டரிகள் திறக்கிற மாதிரி தெரியல. அப்ப உருவானதுதான் G Squareோட ரீட்டைல் ரியல் எஸ்டேட் ஆர்ம். எல்லாரும் தனியா ஒரு சொந்த வீட்டுல வாழணும்னு ஆசைப்பட்டாங்க. ஆனா அப்படி தனி வீடோ இல்ல ஒரு வில்லாவோ வேணும்னா நீங்க சென்னைக்கு மிக அருகாமையில் இருக்கிற செங்கல்பட்டு வரைக்கும் போகணும். சோ சிட்டிக்குள்ள வெறும் அபார்ட்மெண்ட் சப்ளை மட்டும்தான் இருந்தது. இதை உணர்ந்து ஜி ஸ்கொயர் சிட்டிக்குள்ள ஏன் பிளாட் போடக்கூடாதுன்னு யோசிச்சோம். பட் அதுக்கு முக்கியமா 2 விஷயம் வேணும். ஃபர்ஸ்ட், கரெக்டான பிளேஸ்ல கரெக்டான பிரைஸ்ல லேண்ட் வாங்கணும். 2வது விஷயம், போதுன்ற மனசு வேணும். எஸ், சிட்டிக்குள்ள அபார்ட்மெண்ட் கட்டி விக்கிற லொகேஷன்ல ஒருத்தர் பிளாட் போடுறாங்கன்னா 1000 பேருக்கு விற்கக்கூடிய விஷயத்த வெறும் 100 பேருக்கு விற்க போறாங்கன்னா ஜி ஸ்கொயர்ல இந்த கடைசி 3 வருஷத்துல மட்டும் 15000 கஸ்டமர்ஸ் வாங்கியிருக்காங்க. இது இந்தியாவுல வேற எந்த ரியல் எஸ்டேட் கம்பெனிக்கும் இல்லாத பெருமை. இது எப்படி சாத்தியமாச்சுன்னு தெரியுமா? ஜி ஸ்கொயர் பண்ற வால்யூம் ஆஃப் பிசினஸ்க்கு எல்லாமே காஸ்ட் எஃபெக்டிவா பாசிபிள் ஆகுது. ஜி ஸ்கொயரோட குவாலிட்டி யாராலையும் மேட்ச் பண்ண முடியாத அளவுக்கு ஹை குவாலிட்டி. டிடிசி, சிஎம்டிஏ, ரெரா அப்ரூவல் வாங்கி மொத்த சைட்டையும் ரெடி பண்ணி கொடுக்கறது. ஜி ஸ்கொயர்ல இருக்கிற 1000 எம்ப்ளாயிஸும் எப்படி ஒரு லேண்ட வாங்கலாம், எப்படி அதை பிளாட்டா விற்கலாம், டெவலப் பண்ணலாம், மார்க்கெட் பண்ணலாம்னு யோசிக்கிறாங்க. இவ்வளவு பெரிய ஸ்ட்ரென்த் இருக்கிற பிளாட் கம்பெனி இந்தியாவிலேயே இது மட்டும்தான். 15000க்கும் மேல கஸ்டமர்ஸ் இருக்கிறதுனால ஜி ஸ்கொயர் 70க்கும் அதிகமான பிராண்ட்ஸோட டைப் பண்ணி 10 இருந்து 30% வரைக்கும் டிஸ்கவுண்ட் வாங்கி கொடுக்கறோம் பிளாட் புக் பண்ணும் போதே. சோ நீங்க வீடு கட்டுறீங்கன்னா பட்டால இருந்து கிரகப்பிரவேசம் வரைக்கும் கம்ப்ளீட்டா வி வில் சப்போர்ட். இதுவும் இந்தியாவிலேயே ஃபர்ஸ்ட் டைம். எந்த ஒரு இடத்துலயும் ஒரு கோமாதா இருந்தா அங்க இருக்கிற எல்லா பேட் கர்மாவும் போயிடும்னு ஒரு ஐதீகம். சோ ஜி ஸ்கொயரோட எல்லா சைட்லயும் வெட்டுக்கு போற மாடுகளை கூட்டிக்கிட்டு வந்து பராமரிக்கிறோம். தன்கிட்ட பிளாட் வாங்குறவங்க நல்லா இருக்கணும்னு எந்த நிறுவனமும் இவ்வளவு யோசிச்சது இல்லை. ஜி ஸ்கொயர்ல வாங்குற பிளாட்ஸ் எல்லாம் 2 வருஷத்துக்குள்ளேயே 80% வரைக்கும் அப்ரிஷியேட் ஆயிருக்கு. இது வேற எதுலயும் கிடைக்காத ஒரு ரிட்டர்ன்ஸ். இதனாலேயே ஜி ஸ்கொயர்ல அவங்க வாங்கின பிரைஸை விட பிளாட்ஸ் இப்போ டபுள் மடங்கு அப்ரிஷியேட் ஆயிருக்கு. ஜி ஸ்கொயர் கொடுக்கிற பிரைஸ் அட்வான்டேஜ் அண்ட் லொகேஷன் அட்வான்டேஜ் வேற எந்த டெவலப்பராலும் கொடுக்க முடியாது. பிகாஸ் we are the land aggregator cum promoter, so no middleman, no hidden cost. நன்றி, வணக்கம். Hello. Owning a home. It's a dream we all share, isn't it? Now, imagine owning a home in a location of your choice, built exactly the way you have always wanted. It's not just a dream, it's a lifetime investment. And for trusting G Square with a significant step in your life, we extend our heartfelt gratitude and a very warm welcome. Now, let's talk about what owning a home really means. It's a 70% lifetime commitment financially, emotionally, and practically. So naturally, you would want to ensure that you are making this investment with the right people. Let us introduce ourselves and share a bit about what makes G Square unique. Many think G Square is a company that started recently, maybe in 2021. But the truth, G Square was established on October 12, 2012 by Mr. Bala alias Ramajayam. That's nearly 12 years ago. Between 2012 and 2019, we worked with some of India's biggest corporates and publicly listed companies like TVS, Murugappa, Seat, JK Tyre, Ascendas, TCI, and LG. During this time, we successfully aggregated over 4,000 acres of land. That's not just experience, that's expertise. In fact, in 2016-17, Business Standard published an article highlighting how job opportunities in Tamil Nadu increased because of private land aggregators like G Square. Now, why did G Square decide to enter retail real estate in 2019? The answer lies in one word: COVID-19. Post-pandemic, the corporate world was uncertain. Companies were hesitant to open new factories, and like many other business, we had to adapt. That's when G Square made a strategic pivot to retail real estate. After COVID, we noticed a shift. People started prioritizing independent homes, but there was a challenge. Plots or villas were only available far from Chennai in places like Chengalpattu. If you wanted to stay within the city, your only option was an apartment. That's when G Square had a thought, why not offer plots within city limits? To make this happen, 2 things were critical. Getting the right land at right price. With our experience in land aggregation, this was a challenge we were more than equipped to handle. Adopting a mindset of contentment. Here is why, while an apartment might appeal to 1,000 buyers, a plot within the city appeals to only 100. That means profits are reduced to 1/10. But for us, it wasn't just about profits, it was about making dreams a reality. And our projects stand as a testament to that commitment. Now, you might have heard rumors about G Square being politically influenced. Why is that? Historically, developers offered apartments or plots in distant locations. But when G Square started providing ready-to-build plots in prime city areas, it naturally disrupted the market. Apartment sales took a hit. G Square exclusively sells plots and we handle everything from approvals to legalities with complete transparency. Our 30-member in-house legal team ensures every transaction is watertight. You might also wonder why G Square has gained so much attention only in the last 3 years. The answer lies in the power of marketing. With MS Dhoni as our brand ambassador, we have made a strong impression in the market. While we always advertised for our B2B transactions, the game changed when we introduced plots at 2,999 per square feet on OMR. This marked our shift to B2C, boosting our visibility and reach. In just 3 years, G Square has served over 15,000 customers, an unparalleled achievement in the Indian real estate industry. Let me share some of the key reasons behind this success. Volume-based efficiency. Our large-scale operations allow us to deliver high-quality projects at cost-effective prices. Ready-to-build plots. Unlike others, we ensure all approvals, including DTCP, CMDA, RERA, are in place before launching any project. A strong team. With over 1,000 skilled employees, we handle everything from land acquisition to development and sales. G Square Build Assist. We have partnered with 70+ top brands to offer you discounts of 10 to 30% on construction materials and services. From your first step to your housewarming, we are with you all the way. The Gomada Initiative. At every site, we rescue cows from slaughter and care for them. It's our way of bringing positive karma to your future home. High return on investment. Our plots appreciate in value by up to 80% within just 2 years. With no middlemen, no hidden cost, and a focus on unmatched quality, G Square offers you 2 big advantages. The best price in prime location. As both land aggregator and promoters, we cut out unnecessary costs, superior quality. From internal roads to amenities, our projects are designed to create vibrant, thriving communities. Thank you for considering G Square. We are excited to welcome you to the G Square family and be part of your journey toward owning your dream home. G Square, your plot, your home, your way.